20s have been quite transformative and pretty challenging, I won't lie to you. But I'm turning 25 and entering my mid-20s this September. Today is March 26th, which means I have 6 months before I enter my mid-20s. And during those 6 months, I want to completely transform my life and become the best version of myself that I can be. Hi, I'm Marietta. I think it's a good time for me to do a little bit of intro, but before I do that, I want to say that I have my computer in my lap because I have my notes in here. In preparation for this video, I watched so many similar videos and wrote so many notes down that I have a lot to say and I don't want to miss anything, so that's why I have it here. But also, if you're watching and you're like, what the fuck is that black thing in the middle of the screen? It's a microphone. The sound, in my opinion, is always better when it's recorded on a microphone. That's why we have it here. But the framing, I think it might be a little bit annoying, but we're gonna ignore that. And every single time you see me looking down at my screen, I'm not cheating, it's not ChatGPT or anything. I wrote down my own notes in my notes app, where I keep my life story, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. Like I said, in preparation for this video, I went and looked at so many similar videos. I looked at other people's journeys and I felt so motivated and I was like, oh my god, it's such a good idea to actually film this. And here I am doing it, and I'm promising myself to actually document the entire journey from day one to day whatever it will be in 6 months. I want to make sure that I have a video diary that keeps me on check. I need to be making progress and tracking that progress, and knowing myself, I can easily give up on documenting something because it might become daunting or annoying to me or stressful at some point. But I am sitting here and making a promise to you that I will keep documenting this journey and posting it on YouTube. So a little bit of a background about me. I think I have lived 10 different lives already. I have always been interested in self-betterment and growth and etc., all of those things. And since I was 14, there has not been a single day where I have not thought about it. But the thing is that I always start doing something and I never take the journey to its full final destination. And this time I wanted to be different. I moved to Paris 2 years ago in 2023 to pursue a master's degree in fashion media marketing, management, and I changed my life in a way when I did that, because I'm not originally from here. I am actually from Armenia. I changed my surroundings, my living situation. You have a routine going on where you're from, when you spend the most time, you have friends, etc. And I changed all of it. So that's a version of changing my life. But I didn't take it to its final plans and goals. I wanted to enter the fashion world, work in it, etc. And it's been a little bit hard for me to do that, to actually integrate into that world. Even admitting it, becomes really hard to me. So I want to work on this amongst other things, and I want to document this journey. Last year was a little bit hard for me because I lost my aunt very randomly. It gave me anxiety, it gave me all of this health issues, etc. I started thinking about the passing of time and how actually fragile life is. And so I made a promise to myself to go after everything that I want in this life, because you may never know what's going to happen tomorrow. All we have is today, and I want to make the most of my today. I spent my winter 3 months in Armenia because I was struggling to fix my housing situation in Paris. That's a long story for another day, but I will tell you. I was looking for another internship because I had completed the one that I needed for my degree earlier in the year, last year. So I was in the middle of things, and I really didn't like the uncertainty, and I was taking my aunt's passing away harshly. So I decided to just go back home and to spend some time with family and friends, which was a great idea. And during the time when I was home, I knew about this book, The Artist's Way, it's what it's called. It's by Julia Cameron. I knew about this book, but I don't know, for some reason I hadn't gone and looked at people's journeys who have completed this book. And I stumbled upon Dochi's video diaries when she was doing this 12-week course. So just for a little bit of context, the Artist Way is a 12-week course. It's for blocked artists who just want to overcome this block and to create again or create better. So this book is all about like giving you tasks and prompts and things to just complete this journey and come out at the other end as like a better version of your artist self. And I was super interested in this, so I went and got this book. I honestly started it on a whim in the middle of like February, and it's been 7 weeks. I'm in the middle of completing week 7, and it really, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's really changing my life, and I can already feel the positive effects of completing this course. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do was to start a YouTube channel and to take it seriously and to vlog and to post like informative videos. There's a lot of things that I'm interested in, and I could never narrow it down to one thing, so I never actually started the channel. I always thought nobody would be interested in seeing different things on one channel. Nobody would be interested in, I don't know, my thoughts on a specific book after a vlog, and then maybe I'm traveling, so I'm going to post that. Doing this course and reading this book really taught me that I don't have to narrow myself down. I can like many things, and I can do many things and actually be successful at all of them. So this is my way of overcoming that block and making that childhood desire come true, because I don't know, from day one when I discovered YouTube when I was like 8 years old or something, I honestly fell in love with it, and I love the content style, the format. I have so many favorite channels, and it's been a dream of mine to actually do this. So here I am. For a little bit more context, there are a lot of fears and like a lot of limiting beliefs in my mind that I want to overcome during the 6 months. But I can group them into like 2 main groups. The first one is like the group associated with my fear of failure, like rejection, etc. I am definitely afraid of like trying new things where I'm not sure if I will succeed. I want to be good at everything from the first try. It's my perfectionism. It's really hindering my life in a way. It's like holding me back from so many projects and things. And I know this video is not going to be perfect either. And I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, oh my god, why did I say that? Why did I just like so many things that I'm not going to like. But I want to make sure that I start doing things instead of just talking or thinking about them and never doing them. And the second group for me is like associated with my money anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety associated with money and finances, and for me, happiness is like heavily tied to being financially stable. I am financially independent and I sustain myself, my lifestyle completely on my own. So I don't really have that luxury of just like starting everything from ground zero, quitting, etc. because I don't even have enough savings to sustain me in that way. I'm not very good at saving. I used to be when I was super young, like 16, 17, at my first job. I used to get almost nothing, but I was able to save so much. Now that I'm earning much more, it's become so much harder for me to actually save. So I want to also tackle this financial aspect. I want to regain that sense of adventure and security within myself, knowing that I can try things and it's okay if I fail, and not all of them have to be associated with like making money or being financially successful. Although I would still love to be financially successful doing the things that I love. When I was thinking about this, I realized that when I'm like 80 or something and I'm looking back at my life, I think I would hate more to look back and see like wasted potential and missed opportunities because I thought I was not ready for them, according to my perfectionist brain, rather than look back and see a few failures. Failures just are an indicator that you're trying something, and trying something is the best thing, like the coolest thing you can do. So for this next 6 months, there are a few key categories, aspects of my life that I want to focus on, and to make it more trackable and more easy to understand, I just group them into 6 categories, and I'll go over each group in a second. But before that, I think a little bit more context about me and like what I do. I love my job. I currently am like a creative strategist for TikTok campaigns. I work with big brands, mostly in the North American market, that want to execute campaigns on TikTok, and I help them with the creative ideation, the strategy, etc. I know a lot of these videos are always like, oh, I quit my job to start again. I love my job, so I wouldn't like to quit that job, but I still want to expand and go beyond it. If I can have by the end of the 6 months an opportunity to do the same thing in the fashion industry, I would be more than happy. If I have an opportunity to just expand and go further in the same career, that would also make me very happy. And I think it's also important to mention that I'm not just like completely revolutionizing my life, because I do have a solid like starting point. I have always been physically active. I work out already, I dance, I play tennis, etc. I just want to just become better at all of this, and go further in my creative potential. Okay, so going into the categories, the first one is like career, job, money, life situation. And I have a few points in here. I want to start a new job in the fashion industry in Paris. I want to make Paris my home, and I want to have a life here, for which I need a contract and a job in Paris to stay in Paris, because I'm on student visa right now. So during those 6 months, next 6 months, I want to complete like an internship and ideally have a job offer, like a CDI, the way they call it in France, to extend my visa and to transfer to a working visa. The second point is I literally returned to Paris on Friday after spending 3 months at home. I want to have a place and a job by the end of the 6 month period. It's exactly the same thing I just said, but the idea is that I also want to have like a home base here. So if I can find a studio, I love this apartment. I just started looking for something before I came here spontaneously, and this girl reached out to me, the owner of the apartment, and she told me that the apartment is going to be free from March 21st onwards. And so I signed the lease and I moved here. But this place is a little bit outside of Paris. It's still lovely, and I actually really like this apartment, and the owner is super nice. But I would love to have a studio inside Paris. I function better when I live on my own because I like my personal space, and I like to take space. I like to wake up in the morning, take a shower while listening to music. I like to listen to my podcast when I'm working. I run my own podcast, so I like to have space to record episodes for that. So I would love to make a life here in Paris. That's more what the second point is about. The third point is finish my thesis and apply to an incubation program with the app. Okay, so I'm in the process of working on my thesis. I'm honestly really procrastinating it, but I'm gonna get it done by the end of next week. The majority of the work is gonna be done by the end of next week. And my idea for my thesis is a fashion tech application. I want to go and apply to actual incubation with the application. So I'm making a promise to myself. Once my thesis is done and I have everything laid out, I'm taking this and I'm applying to incubation with it. The third point, I just said. The fourth point is start my own fashion tech business. When I apply to incubation, hopefully I'll get funded and I'll start the business. The fifth point is make 20K more by the end of the 6 months. So during the 6 months, whether it's through an internship that I'm going to start here, a second endeavor, or whatever it is, I want to make 20,000 more. I make dollars, but I'm also not opposed to euros, so either $20,000 or euros more than what I'm making currently. And I want to save 10,000 by the end of the 6 months. So come September, come my birthday, which is on September 13th actually, I want to have 10K in my savings account. The second category that I want to focus on is mental health. The first one is overcome fear of failure by just doing things. Exactly what it says here. I just want to do things that I have always wanted to do without being afraid of failing or without listening to that perfectionist voice in my brain. The second point is embrace the cringe. Trying things and failing or whatever. When you're new at something, it may seem cringy. It may seem like you're the only one on planet Earth who's not good at this thing, or you're the only one on planet Earth who's trying this thing for the first time. And it might be cringy. I want to embrace this feeling. I don't want this feeling to ever stop me, because you get better at things by doing them. And to do things, you just need to embrace every feeling that comes with it. There's this really good interview that A$AP Rocky gave. And he was like, man, when did trying become not cool. Trying is so cool. Like, why is trying hard regarded as not cool? And I remember I watched that interview and I was like, holy shit, like, he's right. Why did we brand trying is not cool? Trying is the coolest thing you can do. The next point on my list is fight my perfectionism by starting things even when I'm not fully ready. So this is like exposure therapy for me to be able to get over my perfectionism. Exactly like I said here, I just want to do things without overthinking. I always hold myself back, like even with French. I've been learning French for some time now. I'm pretty good at it, but still in my mind, I know that I'm gonna make mistakes and I'm gonna be like not perfect at it when I speak it. So sometimes I just don't let myself speak French. It's a silly example, but it's exactly like what I do with everything. I feel like I'm not ready for something and I never do it because I just want to be fully ready. I want to learn as much as I can about it, and that day never comes. The next point is work on my avoidant tendencies. Oh, this got really real. I have an avoidant attachment style, and although when it comes to my relationships with men, I really don't mind it. I actually enjoy being avoidant with men. I get to have the upper hand, make them anxious, whatever. I enjoy that. But it also comes out in my relationships with friends and family. I sometimes cannot like sit down and address something that is bothering me. I always choose to run away and to distance myself, and I know that this is harming my relationships with people that I really care about. So I want to work on this and to overcome these tendencies. The next point is learn to ask for what I want and learn to ask for help. This is kind of tied to my avoidant tendencies in general. Avoidant people, some mostly, are not good at asking for help because at some point somebody let you down when you were a child, so you got this thing engraved in your brain like that you have to do everything for yourself, otherwise nobody's going to help you. I don't know, asking for help is really hard for me, and asking for things that I want is really hard for me. I have a feisty personality outside of this, but when it comes to things that I really care about, I don't know, I lose my ability to ask for it. Even if it's like related to asking for a raise at my job, knowing that I deserve it, just starting that conversation is so like daunting for me. But I know that if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. So I'm trying actively to fix this and to just get over this. The next point is let myself rest without feeling guilty for it. Sometimes I plan my resting time so I can be very productive for some time, then work on something, and then have that resting period where I just like read a book or whatever, or even not read a book, scroll on my phone mindlessly, go on Pinterest. And I always end up feeling guilty no matter how I do it. I always end up feeling like I could be using this time to work on something more meaningful. I could be using this time to work on a script, on, I don't know, read an insightful book, watch something that's going to make me smarter. I want to let myself rest because I know that if I keep doing this, I will burn out very soon. And during those 6 months, I will not accomplish anything because I will just be torturing myself. Rest is an important part of the process, and I want to do it in a healthy way. Next 3 points on my list are say yes to more things. Just in general, I'm saying yes to more opportunities. If I get like random collaboration DMs, I'm going to say yes to those. If I have the chance to make friends with somebody new, unexpected, I want to say yes to those. If I get asked to go on like a weekend trip randomly, I just want to say yes. The next one is work on my money trauma, anxiety, overcome limiting beliefs. Very important. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this is like a crucial thing that always holds me back or limits my opportunities, it limits my worldview in a way. I want to get over my money anxiety and I want to work on my limiting beliefs because I have a lot of those, and I know no matter how hard I try to convince myself otherwise, my brain, there's a voice deep down that always like, that's not true. X, Y, and Z will not happen for you because there's too many people who do the same thing. There's too many talented people who do the same thing. There's like not enough money. We're in recession. Blah blah blah. I always have this argument, so I want to get rid of all of those. And the last one on my mental list is live outside the comfort zone until it becomes a new normal. a lot of the things that I just went over, a lot of the points that we just discussed, they do put me outside of my comfort zone, like asking for help, like approaching random people for opportunities, etc. They do put me outside of my comfort zone. I just want to do these things so often that it becomes normal to me. And with that, I conclude the mental health focus, the mental focus. And the next point is my consumption habits. I am super proud of myself actually, because one of the resolutions for me this year was to be more mindful with my consumption and to spend less, and to actually do like a challenge and go however long I can without buying any new pieces of clothing and not buying anything that I don't essentially need. Like I could buy a pair of socks if I was going to go skiing and I didn't have the socks, but I was not allowed to buy a second fleece or like a second pair of pants or something, you know. I'm super proud of myself because I have not bought anything of the sort for over 2 months. It's crazy because I'm somebody who really loves shopping and sometimes uses it as like stress relief. And I know for some people it might seem like impossible to do, but I promise you, the moment you start doing it, it's harder to go back. Now that I am like letting myself to be more flexible with it and buy things that I need, because I do need like leather t-shirts and stuff for the season, I'm like, do I actually need it? Can I just like reuse what I have? And I'm super proud of that. So I'm gonna keep working on this. The second point in this category is create more than I consume. This is generally about my media consumption. I am notorious for always having a pulse on what's happening. I just in the pop culture, like art, whatever, because I have a genuine interest in things. But I know that it's not healthy to just consume. I always look at it in my mind as I frame it as like, that's inspiration for me, that's learning for me, I'm gonna learn from this. But at some point you hit a wall, so you have to start creating. And I want for the next 6 months, I want to create more than I consume as like an overall. The fourth category is passion projects. This is very dear to my heart. Like I said in the very beginning, there's a lot of things that I am interested in life generally. I just want to do and be everything that I can be. I'm gonna go over the list super quickly. These are things that are very dear to my heart, so I don't know how I feel about sharing all of them, but let's see. I want to make a short film. During my studies for my master's degree, I met a professor who was teaching us like photography and videography, and he really inspired me and he saw my potential and he really pushed me to work on a short film. I had the opportunity to do it last year, and the film would be screened during the Biennale at one of the side exhibitions, but my fears held me back and it just didn't. This year I promised myself to actually make it happen, and I'm already in the process of writing the script. I know what I want it to be, so keeping my fingers crossed. The second point related to this is to apply to the Biennale. I want to officially apply to the Biennale with the film. I don't know if I'll get selected or not. That really doesn't matter. That's a lie, it matters. I would love to be selected, but I know it's my first try and I'm not even a director. And I'm not even in film school, so I get it. But just applying and having something to apply with, I think is already like super cool, and I would love to do that. The third point is finally do YouTube seriously. I'm doing this, like I mentioned, YouTube has always been a big passion for me. So I'm really focusing on this for the next 6 months. And hopefully, the next point is connected to that. I will have like 70 to 80k followers by the end of this, as subscribers and like followers across platforms. So let's see. And I want to get invited to a content creator event. I want to be regarded as a content creator. I work with them every day. I love the craft. I love the creativity that goes into it. And I want to take it seriously and just go for it, you know? So the next point is play my first DJ gig. Again, I like too many things. I learned how to DJ like this year. I mean, I started in December. I started a course. I have a lot of DJ friends back at home, and they started this like school for music production, DJing, etc. And I thought I would love to DJ. I've always wanted to. So I went and learned how to do it. But when it came time to play my gig, I had to fly on the same day to Paris. So I didn't end up playing the gig, and I want to, during the next 6 months, I want to play a gig and hopefully get paid for it, but you can't ask for too much when you're just starting out as a DJ. We'll see how it goes, but I just really want to play a gig. I want to paint and photograph a series. One of my main blockages that I am working on with this course, with the artist way, is painting, because I used to paint as a child. Then I got depressed when I was a teenager, and I just like stopped randomly, and I haven't picked up a pen properly since that day. And I started the course having in mind this idea that I really want to paint again. And one day I just randomly did. I sketched a ballerina randomly and I painted. It was not perfect by any means, but I did it, and I felt like, oh, I still can paint. So I want to paint a series, a few paintings related to each other, and I also want to photograph because I love photography. Those are also in my plans for the next 6 months. I want to turn my podcast into a lifestyle brand. Like I said, I have a podcast that's called The Office Hours with Marietta. I am Marietta. I love what Dua Lipa is doing with hers. Like, she has a book club, a podcast, and they share like all these recommendations and cool topics on Instagram, and they have like this blog. I love it, and I want to do the same thing for my podcast because, like I said, I have interest in a lot of things, and there's so much more that I want to talk about and share, and I think that's a really good outlet for it. So I'm also working on this currently. I want to start a Substack. I like to write when I'm inspired, not as an assignment. I hate it when I have to write something and I don't like the topic, but when I have something to say, I really enjoy writing. So I want to start a Substack blog for that reason. I want to complete The Artist Way. I'm on week 7. There's not much left. I think I'm going to be very sad towards the end of it because it's been like super cool to have like tasks and things to think about systematically, but I really want to complete it and document it also. And I want to speak French fluently. Whew, okay, that's a lot. And we have the last 2 categories, not too long to go. I know it's been like a lengthy video, but let's stick with me. The next one is health. I want to become my fittest version. I already work out, like I said, I dance, etc. So I just want to continue doing this and just become the fittest that I can be. And to me, a lot of it is related to endurance. So I want to be able to go like an hour on the stair machine. What the hell is it called? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I want to be able to do an hour on there. I want to be able to run for, I don't know, 10 kilometers. I just want to be really fit when it comes to endurance, and I want to look at my body and see the results as well. The next one is I want to make sure I have enough energy and don't burn out. This is very important. Like I said, burning out is super scary and that will take us nowhere. So I want to focus on giving myself the time and everything else that I need, especially my body. I want to keep track of my vitamin levels, my hormones, etc., and to make sure that I have like enough energy to just go out and do things. The next one is look after my mental health. It's related to all of the mental things that I mentioned, but also potentially going back to therapy. I would love to. Go to sleep and wake up early. I'm already doing this for a week now. I go to sleep at like 10:30, 11 p.m. maximum, and I wake up at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., which is amazing for me. I want to dance and do Pilates regularly, and I want to get significantly better at tennis. Exactly what it says. Tennis is a beautiful sport. I just want to be like really good at it, you know? And the last category for me is community. I want to make 10 meaningful connections. I've already started doing this year because it was also part of my resolutions. But I want to meet people that I know I'll keep in my life, you know? You can never tell what's going to happen, of course, but I want to make meaningful connections and to have meaningful exchanges with people. And I have actually reached out to a girl that I'm going to meet this weekend for the first time ever. So I am working on this and taking it super seriously. I want to go to networking events. This is very outside of my comfort zone. I don't enjoy selling myself in a networking sense, but I know that it's exactly what takes you far in your career. So I want to go to more fashion, marketing, etc. events and just put myself out there and meet people. And the last but not least, I want to work on my existing relationships. I want to devote time and care and love to my friends and family and to just foster everything that I have because I'm super grateful for all the people that I have in my life. Whew, that's everything that I have on my list. I can't believe I went through it. I feel excited for the next 6 months. I feel like there's so much I wanted to. I hope that you will be here and follow me along on this journey. And if you're starting your own journey, I hope you'll just go through with it. I can't thank you enough for being here and for watching this video. There's so much more to come. We'll get to know each other way better with time. I hope my hair didn't look crazy during this video because I will hate it if it looks crazy, but this is getting posted either way. So thank you so much for watching and see you next time.